Darkness, an endless abyss stretching across the cosmos. Stars blink in and out like dying embers, swallowed by the cold, merciless void. But beyond the veil of empty space, something stirs. Something ancient. Something watching. For centuries, humanity has gazed into the sky, searching for meaning, for answers, for proof that we are not alone. We built telescopes to pierce the void, sent probes to distant planets, and launched signals into the great unknown, hoping, praying that something, somewhere would answer. But what if the silence was not indifference, but a warning? What if the vast unbroken quiet of space was not a void to be filled, but a secret to be kept? Because out there, beyond the edge of human understanding, a war rages. A war that has shaped the fate of entire galaxies long before the first spark of fire illuminated the darkness of our primitive world. An endless struggle between civilizations, so vast, so powerful, that their conflicts do not merely alter the course of history, they rewrite the very fabric of reality itself. The War of the Three Galaxies. A conflict beyond human comprehension, spanning eons and countless star systems. Three intergalactic superpowers, each more advanced than we could ever dream, locked in a struggle so vast that its echoes ripple through time itself. But amidst the chaos, one species, small, fragile, and utterly insignificant, has become an unwitting pawn in a game they never knew existed. Humanity. It began with a whisper, a faint, almost imperceptible anomaly detected by a deep space observatory orbiting Neptune, just another burst of cosmic noise, lost in the background radiation of the universe. The astronomers barely took notice. The universe is filled with strange signals, remnants of dying stars and distant quasars, scattered across the great expanse. But then, it happened again. A pattern, a pulse, deliberate, precise, intelligent. At first, the message was dismissed as an error, a malfunction in the equipment. But the readings persisted, rhythmic, repeating, a signal that did not belong to the cold, indifferent chaos of the cosmos. Something, someone, was transmitting. The E. Data was rushed to the highest levels of government. Scientists and military strategists alike scrambled to analyze its meaning. At first, there was hope. Had humanity finally made contact? Was this the moment we had been waiting for? The moment that would change everything? But when the origin of the signal was traced, hope turned to dread. It was not coming from a nearby star, nor even from the vast expanse of the Milky Way. It originated from the void between three colliding galactic empires, territory unclaimed, unexplored, and unknowable. A dead zone where the laws of physics bent under the weight of forces beyond comprehension. The message should not have been possible. And yet, it was there. Then, without warning, the sky changed. A ship arrived, not from Earth, not from any known world. A construct unlike anything humanity had ever seen, appearing in high orbit over Mars in an instant. One moment, empty space. The next, a vessel of impossible design. It dwarfed the largest human spacecraft, a monolithic entity of shifting metal and pulsing energy, its structure seemingly in constant flux, like it was both alive and mechanical at the same time. Every telescope, every satellite, every sensor on Earth turned skyward, locked onto the anomaly. And then, the transmission came. Not through radio waves, not through laser signals or subspace. Frequencies. It spoke through everything. Radio, television, military comms, civilian networks. Every screen, every speaker, every device echoed the same words. Humanity, you have been seen. Then silence. And in the next instant, the ship vanished. No flash of light, no acceleration. One moment, it was there. The next, it was gone. As if it had never been there at all. The world stood still. Stood. Every government, every intelligence agency, every scientific mind on the planet worked to decipher what had just happened. What did it mean? A warning? A declaration of war? A simple acknowledgement? Theories flooded the airwaves. Some claimed it was a scouting party. Others believed it was an invitation, but the truth was far more terrifying, because humanity was never meant to hear that signal. And now, the war was coming to us. Panic spread like wildfire. Every government, every intelligence agency, every secretive military organization across the world scrambled to make sense of what had just happened. The signal, the ship, the message, none of it followed any known pattern of first contact. This was not a peaceful introduction, not a diplomatic envoy reaching out across the stars. It was something else entirely. Behind closed doors, world leaders met in emergency sessions. Theories swirled. Was this a prelude to an invasion, a warning of some impending doom, or something far worse? The secrecy only fueled the fear. Rumors spread across the internet. Like a virus, wild speculation of extraterrestrial alliances, ancient prophecies, hidden conspiracies buried beneath the foundations of human history. Some believed the ship was divine, a harbinger of judgment. Others were convinced it was the work of an advanced breakaway civilization, humans who had long since abandoned Earth and returned from the void. The truth, however, lay buried in classified files that revealed a terrifying revelation, because this was not humanity's first brush with the unknown. Hidden in the depths of secret archives were records of another event, one that had been erased from history. A signal, faint, almost identical, detected decades ago but swiftly covered up. It had been dismissed as an anomaly, buried beneath layers of classified reports never to be spoken of again. But now that same pattern had returned, and this time the universe had answered. The signal was a beacon, and it had drawn attention. Then, without warning, the sky burned. It began on the outskirts of the solar system, objects moving at impossible speeds, detected by long-range observation stations at the edge of known space. At first they were thought to be asteroids, cosmic debris hurtling toward the inner planets. But then they changed course, not drifting, not pulled by gravity, but maneuvering. Intelligent, ships, and they were not alone. At the same moment, a second fleet emerged from the void, twisted, elongated vessels that shimmered like liquid metal, shifting and contorting in ways that defied every known law of physics. The two armadas did not communicate. They did not exchange warnings. They simply attacked, not Earth, not Mars, each other. The war of the three galaxies had arrived at humanity's doorstep, and we were caught in the middle. The first battle unfolded, in the icy abyss between Neptune and Pluto, where colossal warships clashed in a storm of plasma fire and energy blasts that shattered moons and left trails of burning debris stretching for thousands of kilometers. The scale was unimaginable, vessels the size of continents colliding in engagements that bent space itself. The very fabric of reality seemed to tear as weapons of unknown origin were unleashed, warping gravity, distorting time, and ripping apart the void with forces beyond comprehension. For humanity there was nothing to do but watch. Our fleets, our weapons, our technology, nothing we possessed could even compare to the horrors unfolding before us. We were not participants in this war. We were spectators to a battle fought by gods. But then something happened. A single fragmented transmission was intercepted. It was barely comprehensible, distorted by unknown interference, but one phrase cut through the noise with chilling clarity. The Terran anomaly must not fall into enemy hands. The realization struck like a thunderbolt. Humanity was not just collateral. Damage in an intergalactic war. We were a target. But why? Earth had never ventured beyond its own solar system. Our species had no knowledge of these empires, no presence in the wider galactic conflict. And yet, something about us, something buried within our past, our biology, or perhaps our very existence, was significant enough to warrant interference from powers far beyond our comprehension, a secret we did not even know we possessed. As the battle raged across the void, another event sent shockwaves through humanity's last remaining hope for understanding. On the surface of Titan, Saturn's largest moon, a hidden research outpost, one that officially did not exist, was suddenly and violently destroyed. The explosion was unlike anything recorded before. It did not leave behind a crater nor debris. It simply erased the facility from existence. One moment, it was there. The next, nothing. No wreckage, no remains, as if the entire structure had been rewritten out of reality itself. And then, a new signal was detected, not from the warring fleets, not from Earth's own transmissions, from deep beneath Titan's frozen surface. Something had awakened, something older than Earth itself, and the war was no longer just about us. It was about what lay buried beneath the ice, something the warring civilizations would kill to claim, something humanity had never meant to find. Titan, a world of ice and shadow, its frozen surface concealing oceans deeper than any on Earth. For decades, it had been a hub of quiet scientific research, a place where humanity tested the boundaries of space exploration. But now, it was something else. A battleground. The moment the research outpost vanished, alarms blared across every classified communications network. A total loss. No survivors. The station's existence had been a secret, hidden even from most of Earth's own governments. Yet, somehow, it had become a target. Something had erased it. Something beneath the ice. The destruction of the outpost was no ordinary event. It hadn't been bombed. It hadn't been infiltrated. It had simply ceased to exist. Every satellite, every long-range sensor scanning Titan at the moment of impact reported the same anomaly, a distortion in space-time as if reality itself had been rewritten. And then, the new signal emerged. It pulsed from deep beneath the frozen crust, vibrating through layers of ancient ice. It was not a distress beacon, not a warning, not even a message intended for humanity. It was a call that something, someone, had finally answered. Across the battlefield beyond Pluto, the war changed. The warring fleets that had been locked in a brutal, merciless struggle suddenly shifted course. Ships abandoned their engagements mid-battle, ignoring their enemies, ignoring each other. Entire armadas altered their formations, accelerating towards Saturn's orbit. The signal had drawn them in, and for the first time, humanity saw something that had never been witnessed before. The full attention of the three great powers turning toward Earth, the Zolvar Dominion, ruthless conquerors who bent entire planetary systems to their will, their warships like floating monoliths, bristling with weapons capable of reducing moons to dust. The Ashari Ascendancy, an enigmatic civilization whose knowledge of the universe bordered on the divine, wielding technology so advanced it defied understanding, shimmering ships that folded reality itself as they moved, and the Varek swarm, a terror from the depths of space, neither machine nor organic, but something in between, an intelligence spread across countless biomechanical vessels, evolving and shifting with every passing second. 3 intergalactic superpowers, each older than human civilization itself, each more powerful than anything Earth could ever dream of facing. And now they were all coming, not to negotiate, not to observe, but to claim. Earth's response was immediate, but hopeless. The United Nations, NATO, the Eastern Alliance, every nation, every military force scrambled to prepare for the unthinkable. Earth's orbital defenses, laughable in comparison to what was approaching, went to full alert. Every available ship, every last missile, every hidden experimental weapon was primed, pointed toward the stars. But deep down, every commander, every scientist, every leader knew the truth. If the 3 great powers truly wished to take Earth, there was nothing humanity could do to stop them. Yet, they did not come for Earth itself. They came for Titan. But why? What was buried beneath the ice? What had been awakened? The world's greatest minds scoured every classified file, every ancient record, every forbidden archive. Something, anything that might explain what was happening. Then they found it, a buried transmission decades old, an intercepted deep space signal, long before humanity had developed the technology to detect it properly. It had been weak, distorted, dismissed as cosmic noise. But upon reinvestigation, one fact became clear. It was the same signal detected weeks ago, the same frequency, the same pattern, and the most chilling revelation of all, it had originated from Earth, not from Titan, not from the far reaches of space, but from beneath our own planet's surface. Something had been here before. Something had been buried, hidden, forgotten. And now the war was no longer just about Titan, no longer just about humanity being caught in the crossfire. Earth itself was part of the conflict. As the first wave of alien ships entered Saturn's orbit, a final warning echoed through every human transmission, hijacking satellites, broadcasting through every radio and screen in existence. A voice, not human, not mechanical, something in between, and it spoke only 3 words. It is awake. The E. Message sent a shockwave through every intelligence agency, military outpost and hidden command center on Earth. It is awake. The words carried weight far beyond their meaning. Not a warning, not a threat, a statement of fact. And the universe had responded. The 3 great powers descended upon Titan with the force of gods waging war over a celestial prize. The first fleets shattered the orbit of Saturn, deploying vessels the size of cities, their hulls humming with energy beyond human comprehension. Some descended toward the frozen moon in eerie silence, their sleek forms folding space itself as they moved. Others unleashed blinding streams of destruction, not at each other, but at the ice. They were not fighting for Titan, they were digging. Beneath the frozen wasteland, something ancient slumbered, something the warring empires feared or worshipped. From Earth, frantic transmissions were sent to every human station near Saturn. Observe, do not engage, do not interfere. But that command was meaningless now. Humanity had already interfered the moment it detected the first signal, because we were the ones who woke it. Deep beneath Titan's surface, seismic activity erupted. Tremors spread across the ice, violent and unnatural, pulsing in sequence like a heartbeat. The ice cracked, then it shattered. A fissure opened kilometers wide, revealing something no human mind could have ever conceived, a structure, not natural. Not built by human hands, a construct older than Earth itself. For the first time, the alien fleet stopped attacking each other. They drifted in eerie silence, as if waiting, as if they too feared what lay beneath. Then, reality itself broke. Blinding pulse of energy erupted from the depths of Titan, stretching beyond the planet, beyond the solar system, into the void. Time seemed to stop. Instruments failed, light distorted, and in that moment, a presence made itself known, not seen. Not heard, but felt. Every human, every being across the solar system, every soldier watching the battle unfold felt its gaze, a consciousness vast beyond comprehension, ancient beyond measure. It did not communicate in words, in speech, in language. It simply was, and in that moment, every single ship in orbit around Titan received the same transmission. A vision, a memory, a warning. The War of the 3 Galaxies was not about power. Not about conquest, it was about containment. The Zolvar Dominion, the Ashari Ascendancy, and the Varek Swarm were not fighting over control of Titan. They were fighting to keep what was beneath it sealed away, and humanity, our curiosity, our unrelenting hunger for discovery, had undone the last lock. Something beyond the scope of the 3 great powers, something they feared, something that had not merely been buried beneath Titan, but beneath time itself. As the pulse of energy subsided, silence fell upon the battlefield. The warships remained motionless as if frozen in place. A moment of horrified realization. Then the sky ripped open. From the depths of space, from the void between galaxies, something came through. Not a ship, not a fleet. Something impossibly vast. Something that had been imprisoned for a reason. And now it was free. The moment the rift opened, everything changed. Space itself wept. What emerged was not a fleet, not an army, not anything that could be classified within the understanding of any known civilization. It was vast beyond comprehension, stretching across the void like a living shadow, an absence of existence rather than a presence. Not black, not darkness, something deeper, something older, a hunger beyond time. Every human satellite, every sensor, every instrument that tried to record its form simply failed. The data was corrupted before it could even be processed, leaving only static and error messages in its wake. The human mind was never meant to perceive something like this. Yet, we could feel it, a pressure against the soul, a weight against the mind, as if the universe itself recoiled in terror, and then it moved, not in a way that could be understood, not through propulsion, not through physical force. It simply shifted, as if reality itself bent to accommodate its will. The fleets of the three great powers responded immediately. The war was forgotten. Their true purpose became terrifyingly clear. They had never been fighting over Titan. They had been standing guard. The Zolvar Dominion unleashed their strongest weapons, planetary siege cannons designed to crack open the crusts of entire worlds. Beams of pure annihilation tore through space, striking the entity, and did nothing. The Ashari Ascendancy, wielders of technology that bent the fabric of existence, activated weapons that twisted probability, that rewrote time itself to erase an enemy before it could ever exist, and they failed. The Varek Swarm, a force that had consumed countless civilizations, launched their own desperate assault, and then simply ceased to be. Their ships, their minds, their entire presence, gone. Not destroyed, unmade, as if they had never existed at all. It was not an attack. It was hunger. Then came the whispers, not voices, not sound, but understanding forced into the minds of every living being across the solar system, a truth that no mind should have ever contained. And in that moment, humanity understood. This was not an invader, not a conqueror, not an enemy in the way war is typically understood. It was something from before. Before the galaxies, before the stars, before existence took form. A being that had been locked away at the dawn of time itself, and now it was free. Titan had not been a moon, not entirely. It had been a prison, one of many. The war of the three galaxies had never been about expansion, never about dominance. It had been a desperate, millennia-spanning effort to keep something contained, and humanity, blind, curious, arrogant humanity, had broken the final seal. The entity did not speak, it did not rage, it simply moved, and the stars began to die. One by one, the nearest celestial bodies dimmed as if their very essence was being drained. Saturn, a planet that had stood for billions of years, began to crumble, its rings collapsing as the unimaginable force stripped it apart, molecule by molecule. The war was over. There was no war anymore, only escape. The remaining alien fleets turned and fled, abandoning their battle formations, abandoning the solar system entirely. The Zolvar Dominion, the Ashari Ascendancy, these were civilizations that had ruled the stars for millions of years, and yet before this they ran. Earth had minutes, maybe hours. The United Nations Space Command scrambled to enact emergency evacuation protocols, but what was there to evacuate to? Mars, the distant colonies? No, nowhere was safe. Then something impossible happened. The entity stopped. Its form, if it could be called that, hovered in the void, lingering at the edge of Saturn's remains, and it looked at Earth. Every single person on the planet, all 8 billion souls, felt it. The weight of its gaze, the vast, incomprehensible intelligence behind it. And then, in the deepest recesses of the human mind, the whispers came again. But this time they asked a question that no human, no Zolvar, no Ashari, no being in existence had ever expected. A question that should never have been possible. What are you? And then it was gone. No explosion, no flash of light, it simply vanished. The rift in space collapsed. The dying stars reignited. The three great powers, once locked in endless war, now drifted in stunned silence. And Earth? Earth remained untouched, but the question still lingered, etched into the collective consciousness of every living being. The entity had not attacked humanity. It had not consumed us. Instead, it had hesitated, as if we were something it had never encountered before, something that did not fit within its understanding of existence. And that meant only one thing. Humanity was an anomaly that something beyond the fabric of time itself had noticed, and it would be back. Because the War of the Three Galaxies had never truly been about conquest. It had been about preparation for the real war, the one that had now begun, the war for existence itself. What? Do you think, XenoChronicles, could humanity be something more than just another civilization in the vast cosmos? Could we be the key to something far greater, or something far worse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you want to see what happens next, like, share and subscribe to XenoChronicles, because this story is far from over.